Breaking news. A staggering fortune lies hidden beneath the waves of the West Philippine Sea. It's not just a rumor or speculation. Scientific surveys have revealed billions of barrels of oil and trillions of cubic feet of natural gas locked away in the seabed, waiting to be tapped. Geologists and energy experts confirm this is no ordinary find. The scale of these resources could transform the fate of an entire nation. For the Philippines, this discovery represents more than just numbers on a balance sheet. It's a potential economic revolution, a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Imagine a nation no longer shackled by the burden of imported fuel, no longer at the mercy of volatile global oil prices, but instead able to fund world-class infrastructure, roads, bridges, airports, and schools that could rival those of the world's most developed countries. This wealth could lift millions out of poverty, providing jobs, education, and hope for generations to come. The headlines in Manila are electric: Philippines sitting on $1 trillion fortune. The excitement is palpable, and the possibilities seem endless. But this discovery comes with a catch, a challenge that could define the nation's future. The same waters that promise prosperity are also the site of one of the world's most dangerous geopolitical standoffs, where tensions simmer just below the surface. China, a powerful neighbor with vast ambitions, claims nearly the entire sea as its own, drawing its own lines on the map and challenging the Philippines' rights to these resources. This isn't just about territory, it's a clash of sovereignty, national pride, and the right to determine one's own destiny. It's a test of international law, with the world's eyes on the outcome, and it's a flashpoint for global powers, each with their own interests and agendas. The dream of prosperity is real, and the hope it brings is powerful, but so is the risk of conflict, as military forces patrol the contested waters, and every move is watched with suspicion. Every decision by the Philippine government is now under a microscope, scrutinized by both allies and rivals. The world is watching as Manila faces a high-stakes dilemma: how to unlock this immense wealth without igniting a regional crisis that could spiral out of control. The path forward is anything but simple, filled with uncertainty, risk, and the weight of history. The promise of the deep blue waters is matched only by the peril that surrounds it, as opportunity and danger move side by side. The Philippines stands at a crossroads, between a future of prosperity and the looming shadow of confrontation. The stakes could not be higher. Every moment counts, and every decision could shape the nation's destiny for decades. The next chapter will be written not just by engineers and economists who will plan and build, but by diplomats and admirals whose choices will determine peace or conflict. The world holds its breath, waiting to see which path the Philippines will choose, and what the future beneath the waves will bring. For Filipinos, energy independence is more than a dream, it's a necessity. Every day, millions of families wake up hoping for a better tomorrow, one where they are not at the mercy of global events beyond their control. The country's reliance on imported oil means every global crisis hits home, raising prices and straining families. When fuel costs spike, it's not just about transportation, it affects the price of food, electricity, and even basic goods, making life harder for everyone. The West Philippine Sea's resources could break this cycle, stabilizing costs and fueling national growth. Tapping into these vast reserves would allow the Philippines to control its own destiny, reducing vulnerability to international market shocks. Imagine modern ports, bridges, and power grids, funded by homegrown energy. Infrastructure could expand rapidly, connecting communities and driving innovation across the archipelago. Revenues from oil and gas could transform public services, universal healthcare, better schools, and a stronger safety net. With more resources, the government could invest in programs that uplift every Filipino, ensuring no one is left behind. Thousands of new jobs would emerge, from engineers to fishermen. Opportunities would open up in every region, empowering local communities and reducing poverty. This is about more than wealth. It's about building a fairer, more resilient society. Energy independence means communities can weather storms, both literal and economic, together. The government sees these waters as the nation's greatest inheritance, a chance to secure the future for generations. It's a legacy that could redefine what it means to be Filipino, giving hope to children and grandchildren yet to come. Walking away would mean continued dependency and lost opportunity. The cost of inaction is not just economic. It's the loss of potential, pride, and progress. For Manila, defending these resources is non-negotiable. The nation stands united in its resolve to protect what rightfully belongs to its people. The fight for the West Philippine Sea is a fight for the country's soul. It's a struggle for justice, sovereignty, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. It's about dignity, prosperity, and the right to chart an independent course. Every Filipino deserves the chance to thrive in a nation that stands tall and proud. The stakes are national survival and the promise of a golden future. With courage and unity, the Philippines can turn its dreams into reality. The world is watching to see if the Philippines can seize its moment. Now is the time to rise, to claim what is rightfully ours, and to build a legacy that will shine for generations. The Philippines' claim to the West Philippine Sea is anchored in international law, not myth or legend. This is not a story of ancient empires or vague historical memories, but a modern legal battle grounded in globally recognized rules. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, is the foundation. It grants the Philippines exclusive rights to explore, exploit, and manage resources within 200 nautical miles of its shores, an area known as the Exclusive Economic Zone, or EEZ. Most of the oil and gas reserves, including the highly coveted Reed Bank, fall squarely within this legally defined zone. These resources are vital for the country's energy security and economic future. In 2013, Manila took a bold step by bringing China to court, seeking not just clarity, but also justice and international recognition of its rights. The 2016 Hague ruling was a landmark victory for the Philippines. The tribunal declared China's sweeping claims, based on its so-called 9-dash line, to be baseless under international law. The tribunal didn't just side with the Philippines, it affirmed the nation's rights both legally and morally, setting a powerful precedent for the region. This ruling is now the cornerstone of Manila's diplomatic strategy. It transforms the dispute from a murky territorial quarrel into a clear-cut case of rights versus overreach, law versus power. While the court lacks the power to enforce its decision directly, its authority and the legitimacy of its ruling are undeniable in the eyes of the world. The world now sees the Philippines not as an aggressor, but as a nation standing firm, defending what is rightfully its own under international law. The legal line is clear, even if it is constantly challenged by force and intimidation on the water. The fight today is about upholding the rule of law in the face of might, ensuring that international agreements are respected, not just by words, but by actions. The stakes are global, not just local. What happens here affects international order, freedom of navigation, and the future of maritime law for all nations. China flatly rejected the Hague ruling, doubling down on its claims. Massive Coast Guard fleets and maritime militias swarm the waters, blocking Filipino fishermen and survey ships. Artificial islands, bristling with military hardware, now dot the sea, projecting Chinese power deep into Southeast Asia. Beijing's strategy is to create facts on the water, making its control seem inevitable. Every day, the Philippines' legal rights are challenged by China's relentless presence. The United States has a vital interest in the West Philippine Sea, not in the territory, but in keeping sea lanes open. Trillions in global trade pass through these waters. A single nation's control is unacceptable to Washington. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty binds the U.S. and the Philippines, now clarified to cover attacks in the South China Sea. American warships regularly challenge China's claims, while joint military exercises strengthen the alliance. U.S. support is a shield, but it comes with risks. Manila must balance the security the U.S. provides with the danger of being caught in a superpower showdown. Relying too much on Washington could provoke China or limit Philippine autonomy. The challenge: leverage the alliance without becoming a pawn. For the Philippines, it's a delicate dance, seeking protection, but guarding its own interests. The U.S. presence deters aggression, but also complicates Manila's choices. The stakes are not just regional, but global. The world's eyes are on this alliance. The next move could shape the future of the Pacific. The Philippines walks a tightrope between risking conflict with China and surrendering its sovereignty. The military imbalance is stark. Open confrontation would be disastrous. Manila opts for calculated defiance, asserting its rights without provoking escalation. Economic risks loom large. China is a top trading partner and can wield economic pressure at any time. The government must balance defending its territory with protecting its economy. Diplomatically, Manila rallies global support, while keeping dialogue open with Beijing. At home, the issue is a test of patriotism. Leaders face pressure to be tough, but not reckless. Building consensus is crucial. Transparency with the public is key. The stakes are national unity and survival. Every decision is fraught with risk. The path forward demands courage and wisdom. The Philippines knows it can't stand alone. It's forging a web of alliances, multilateral partnerships with the US, Japan, Australia, and ASEAN allies. Japan provides patrol vessels and deepens defense ties. Australia joins joint patrols and intelligence sharing. These partnerships add layers of deterrence and capacity. ASEAN unity is elusive, but Manila pushes for a binding code of conduct. The goal: make aggression too costly for China. By building overlapping alliances, the Philippines strengthens its hand. The message: the region stands together for a rules-based order. The West Philippine Sea dispute hits home for every Filipino. Without access to its own energy, the country remains vulnerable to global price shocks. Fishermen face daily harassment, losing access to traditional grounds and struggling to feed their families. The standoff scares off foreign investment, stalling economic progress. National resources are diverted to defense, not development. The psychological toll is real, a nation under constant pressure. This isn't just foreign policy. It's about daily survival and hope. The struggle is felt at the gas pump, in fishing boats, and in every Filipino's future. The Philippines stands at a crossroads, facing choices that will echo for generations. The goal: secure its rights and unlock the sea's wealth, without sparking conflict. The strategy: assertive defense, relentless diplomacy, and creative economic partnerships. Alliances with the US, Japan, and others provide breathing room and leverage. The fight is for the rule of law, not the law of the jungle. The fate of the West Philippine Sea is the fate of the nation. The risks are immense, but so is the promise. The world hopes the Philippines can secure peace, prosperity, and sovereignty in these vital waters.